This album is not it. We've all come to know DJ Khaled, especially in recent years, as a viral producer, putting together some of his better works in my opinion with albums like Major Key. Not only was the virality of a person like DJ Khaled extremely high in 2016, what with his personality that he was alluding to on Snapchat, constant usage of phrases like another one, the music also spoke for itself as well, with tracks like I Got the Keys with Jay-Z and Future that were big hits, and For Free with Drake, and Holy Key with Kendrick and Big Sean. It was a solid project that was followed by DJ Khaled in 2017 coming out with Grateful, which didn't live up to Major Key in my opinion. Grateful was another compilation of music that was put together by DJ Khaled that didn't really have any kind of direction for the artists that were featured on it, didn't really compliment them that well in my opinion. You have hits on that project like the Santana sample that landed on Wild Thoughts with Rihanna and Bryson Tiller, but you also had duds on that project that fell completely flat on their face by utilizing people like the Big Three, in this case Drake on To The Max. You also had disgusting rap pop songs on the album that contained features from Justin Bieber to Chance the Rapper, Quavo, a track that is almost recreated on this project with No Brainer. So what can you expect from a project like Father of Asahd? Absolutely nothing. Not only does this project not have any of the virality that a project like Major Key had prior to its release, it doesn't utilize any singles to get more buzz for the project outside of the pop rap hit that was supposed to be No Brainer. The intro of this album starts off with these obnoxiously loud, predictable piano keys where DJ Khaled gets these other artists to get on and push forward the narrative that Asahd is this chosen child divinity and he needs to be protected. I just think it's funny you get an album like this that starts off with divinity at the forefront to the very next track where Cardi B is talking about how her pussy needs to have a ribbon on it, and if she had a dick, these bitches still couldn't get it hard. But 21 Savage does deliver probably the best verse on this entire album by saying, yo bitch got that crazy head, like a Kanye tweet. I thought that was pretty funny. But if I can speak honestly, this album just doesn't seem like it has that time that an album like Major Key did. Top off with Jay-Z and Future, sounds like it was created a decade ago. Jealous opens up with this extremely generic Chris Brown feature that leads into a Lil Wayne verse that does absolutely nothing for the remainder of the song in my opinion, that also has unnecessary verses from Big Sean. That and the generic laser-like instrumental makes this beat just make my ears bleed. I don't know why on so many projects artists feel the need to place Travis Scott at the forefront of their singles and on the hook as if he's a great singer when really it's the auto-tune. He's an effect, he's not a vocalist. So why are you giving this man constant airtime on hooks when you have Post Malone, the guy who can actually sing without it, on a verse? You have an actual singer and then you've got an auto-tuner and you use the auto-tuner for your hook and monopolize the whole song into basically being a Travis Scott single. Why? And then Travis Scott's auto-tune is absolutely terrible. I don't know who tweaked it. There are some highlights on this project like the Big Sean track, Thank You, where it's very triumphant as he's looking back on his life. Big Sean on this track also thanks DJ Khaled for being the foundation for what would end up being his success later on in life. Tracks like Weather the Storm featuring Meek Mill have a similarly crafted tune in the sense that they talk about the rapper's upbringing. Again, both these tracks carry a very triumphant feeling to them. Same thing happens on the track Higher that features Nipsey Hussle and John Legend. Hearing Nipsey feature on the first and second verse is like heart-wrenching and amazing at the same time. Now, while instrumentally this track doesn't do much for me and John Legend's voice can take me out of the song just a little bit sometimes, I do really like the way Nipsey handles the track in his verses. Nipsey opens up his verse by talking about the struggles it took for him to even be born in the first place, what with his grandmother having miscarriages for almost a decade, to his father immigrating from Africa to the United States, to his second verse where he ultimately ends up rapping about a fate that when you hear it and know what happened to him this year, he couldn't escape. But I gotta say, this dude was killing that blue suit. Killing it. But that's pretty much where me liking this album ends, because on the same album, like I said, there are remakes of I'm the One on No Brainer where Justin Bieber, Chance the Rapper, and Quavo are on trying to do the same pop rap shit they did on the previous album a year before. The lack of creativity with the sample usage on this project is astonishing. Like what they did to the Jodeci sample was bad enough with Lil Wayne and Gunna. But what they tried to do with that Outkast sample with SZA is fucking atrocious. Not only did they not try to use their own drums, recreate the instrumental in any kind of cool way, or just use it as a simple reference for something that would ultimately end up being bigger, they kept this shit identical. Like down to the key. SZA's verse is so phoned in on this track, and the instrumental, I just can't believe they would do this to one of the most iconic singles in hip-hop history. This is the definition of having your friend give you their work to copy, and you copy it down to the smallest detail, only changing your name. DJ Khaled tries to say SZA sounds like an angel on this track, but her vocals are barely okay, and her verse is actually one of the most phoned in things I've heard on an album in recent years. And I guess the Drake vocals never came in because that dude is absent as fuck from this album. Speaking of absent, the big 3 stimulus package isn't on this project. Where's Cole, Kendrick, or Drake? Not to say you need them to make a project good, because you certainly do not, but if you're gonna have all this shit on here, I'm surprised you didn't have a feature with one of them on here. And I only ask where they at because it seems like DJ Khaled's attempted trying to make an A+ album with a bunch of C and B+ rappers. No offense. I'm feeling a big old fat bad out of 10 for this project. Thank you for watching. Let me know what tracks you enjoyed if you did at all. This is completely subjective here, you know. You're free to love this project. I'm free to dislike it. But just know it's still bad. See y'all next time. Asahd deserved better. He really did. You gonna force his name on this shit. Like, that's crazy.